Okay. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing? Hey, Soup Bone. How are y'all doing tonight? Can you all see me? Hazy P, what's up? Lady Royal, what's up? Hey, everyone. Y'all are back. I told y'all I was coming back, definitely. Hi, 80s baby. Okay, so the Truth 305, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's up. Sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's not. You on that? Yep, soup bone. I'm on right now. I went to go get me some vegetarian food. Okay, so y'all, did y'all see Dr. Ali? How you doing, Renee? Morgan, you back? Y'all, so I just finished watching Dr. Ali not too long ago, and it was like crazy. I had to, because I went out and I was eating while he was on. Okay, thank you, The Truth 305. I was eating while he was on, and then I'm waiting for dinner now. I had to give me a little snack in between. Hannah, remember before he had went live, I had suspected that security guard. I said it. I said from the way Irene and the rest of these friends is talking, because went before he got on too. I went and seen the other interview with the two other boys that was at the party, and it was crazy. Like they were basically backing up Irene's claims that Kanika was asleep, and pretty much it also had put Monifa in a shady position because the time of the text messaging where Kanika originally was saying that she wanted to leave was at the beginning and not when Monifa was originally saying it was. So he definitely shed light. And then, did y'all see that he mentioned that other security guard officer that could potentially be the Rosemont police officer? I had mentioned that because I was like, if it's a law in Chicago that they act as law enforcement, that would be a reason why they would cover that up, because they don't want to face negligence. And come on, you the hotel front desk telling the people stuff towels under the door, take the smoke detectors down, and it was weed smoke all in the hallway, because you heard Irene in her interview say that you could smell the weed all in the hallway. Right. He should have been a lawyer. I think I think he said he do have a degree with the human rights. Yes, like I watched their interview too, and they had a lot of moments too. How about what had me tripping was they was on there talking about they went to look for a security guard and they couldn't find nobody to help them. I think you talking about Jordan Bilbo. He died at a Crown Plaza in Texas. They found him in the stairwell. They said they went to go find the security guards to help. It wasn't nobody around. So the security security guards was missing in action because when they was at the front desk, they got rowdy at the front desk because they like, come on, we need to find our friend. And the security was nowhere to be found to even put them out of there when they was popping off. That's crazy. That's what the two boys are saying, that they when they did go to look for Kanika, that it was like they looking around the hotel, ain't nobody there. in Houston, Texas. Yep, that boy was found in Houston, Texas at the Crown Plaza Hotel, Jordan Bilbo, age 25. And his death was sketchy. And they trying to say it was more than one security guard. It was one that was missing in action, and they caught him walking around the hallway around about 5 something in the morning. And then the other one was just missing completely in action. So we don't know where he was at. But it's looking like it was the Crown Plaza, because that's really at fault and negligent, because you had a hotel room full of people doing all kind of illegal activity, and you didn't call the police not once or to say. The elevator is right by the room. Right, Derek, that's what I was thinking. If they came, if Monifa and the girl, what's her name, Shamaya, came back to get the keys and they left Kanika in the hallway as to not drag her around, they could just snatch her and put her in the elevator. Like, who had the schematics on how that floor looked? I think Mike Larry had the schematics and stuff for the hotel and how the hotel looked. But if they, the way Irene put it, Irene was like, they came back in talking about Shorty was gone. Hannah, that's why the whole situation is suspect. Why, if you got all these black young youth running around your hotel and they quick to lock somebody up in Chicago, why they ain't call the police when it was weed smoke? You knew the music was too loud because the security guard came to the door. And it's in the police report that Irene was told that they was too loud. You were saying that she was hidden in the men's bathroom. They could have ducked her off in one of them rooms or even the men's bathroom, like somebody just said. Like, you can't get snatched up real quick. If not, I mean, especially if she was intoxicated. Right. They ain't covering up for no black youth. They'll just, especially with them, they'll throw them in the river in a quickness. Right. Or because they didn't, come on, a murder in your hotel and then all this negligence, like you got all these people smoking and drinking and your hotel was negligent. You didn't have the adequate security and a murder happened in your hotel. Definitely your hotel would be closed down indefinitely. That is what is supposed to happen. So of course we're gonna cover it up because we don't want the hotel to get shut down. That's money. We don't want to say we was negligent, even though it's right in front of your face that it was negligence. Like, who were these black kids that they were allowed to take smoke detectors down and put towels under the door? I think it could be somebody higher up, but I also think it could be the fact that they didn't want to shut their hotel down. I think that that's the huge point. They don't want to. They didn't want to shut their hotel down. You have a murder in your hotel. That's serious. And then you was invite all these legal violations. Come on, your hotel is over with. Finito. Well, even if it didn't happen there, the body was found in their freezer. So that's a serious charge that it was even found in their freezer. And she wasn't the only person that died there either, I think. I think they were saying some other people had died that night. Right. Hannah, they ain't want that hotel shut down, honey. That's why they quickly swept that under the rug. We gonna say she accidentally walked into this freezer, because if we make it seem like she accidentally walked into the freezer, who then it's not whose fault. It's not Crown Plaza's fault at that point. So we gonna do what we gotta do. Right, I heard two other people had died too. That there was some reports that two other people had died that night. But big in that, if that security guard who had that police uniform on for Rosemont, if he is acting as a police officer, that could make negligence on the police part as well. We don't know if that dude is a real police officer or just a security guard. So I could see why the police would be like, we ain't about to mention this. And I could see why the hotel would be trying to sweep it under the rug, because they don't want to pay, number one. And then number two, come on, if they admit to that much negligence, their whole hotel would be shut down. They would, the partners and whoever else own the hotel, they would be out of some money. That's a hotel, a major hotel. Ain't the airport real close to this hotel too? But they probably cover it up more than we know too. You said the security guard and the medical examiner left the country? That should let folks know how big this is. This is crazy. He broke that down beautiful. He broke that down beautifully. I got to get these trolls up out of here. Hold on, y'all. Because it's not going down tonight. They did it in the police reports. Her name is Cassandra. That's the person that edited the video, right? Yup, they starting. Anyway, you're at it, Mama. My chest and Sandra. 5 or 6 that died, and that's why they didn't want. I heard, Connie, I heard it was more than Kanika that was found. It ain't about believing Dr. Ali's version. It's just like, people got to get past that. You got to look at what makes common sense. What makes sense? Okay? It's a lot of theories out there. I'm looking at bits and pieces, because I'm not just looking at Dr. Ali or whatever. I'm looking at bits and pieces of what was put out there for the public to see. And what I see is, when you look at that stuff for yourself, look at what the people are saying and look at what they're not saying. Look at what the people are saying and then look at what the people are not saying. Right. It's about common sense. Common sense is, clearly this was a murder. Clearly it's a cover-up. Who got the most to lose in this situation? Who has the most to lose? Like, if this was just these little ratchet black kids, they would have put them under the jail by now. It would have been like, okay, they'd escape. They the fall guys for this. Right, you got to make your own call. Just because, okay, prime example, there's some things I agree with Dr. Ali. Is some things that I may not agree with. I have my own brain and make my own conclusions. That's what people need to learn to do. You don't have to listen to every little thing a person say and take that as what you feel. You could say, okay, I like that this person said this, but I'm going to make my own opinion about this over here. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for people. You don't have to believe every little single detail, but I feel like the majority of what Dr. Ali put out is a plausible situation. Like, it don't mean it's 100%, airtight concrete, but if it makes sense, I mean, hey, like, it makes the most sense out of what I've seen thus far with these YouTube people. Like, we got people saying that the mother killed the girl and brought her back to the Crown Plaza freezer. Like, some of this stuff is just nuts. So, I believe that at least on the Monifa part, Monifa know a little bit more than what she's saying. And number two, them security guards of that hotel is suspect and they know something. That's how I feel personally. I don't know if that's for sure, but I think that they know a little bit more than what is being said. To get it, you said you got your master's in psychology. Girl, you go. I'm telling you, like, people gotta make, like, I'm through with the whole who credentials is bigger than the credentials. My theory is bigger. Like, people can make their own assessments. You said Shamaya know everything? Lady Royale, that's what I'm in school for. I hope it ain't that crazy. Okay, let me see. Right, Derek. You could agree to disagree, but people they want you to do that group think, that cult like thinking. It's not necessary. Agree to disagree and keep it moving. In her video, Kanika went missing as soon as she entered the hallway, so that means she either got snatched, blah blah blah. Right, Seattle, Washington. People should respect each other. You know why? Because it's they ego trip. They want to be the one to solve the whole Kanika Jenkins case. It's an ego thing with them. And I don't understand why. Like, it's not about you. It's not about you. They need to realize that it is not about you. But they saying Irene's story is lining up with the text messages and what everybody else is saying in the party. They saying the only story that ain't matching is Monifa's story. It's not matching what them text messages is saying. Let me see. I believe Irene had that black eye because you could see in that interview. You could see in that interview, it's red around one of her eyes. And this is allegedly a few days or like shortly after the whole Kanika situation. And her eye was red. So your eye red like that around it is with some trauma there. Yep, her eye was swollen. I peeped that. We don't know if I don't know if Irene's story ain't is faulty or not, but we can look at her story and see that it's lining up with them text messages, and two other people and numerous other people have that exact same story from the party except for one person. So it's like, what's up? Like, and then I think it was some details that was off where it was like, did you or did you not leave that room the whole night? I want to know if Irene ever left that room the whole night. Right. That's who Dr. Ali was saying that her story was not adding up with everybody else from the party or the police statements. And then it was like the fugaziness of the person who gonna try to say I go by my middle name, Kanika. That was crazy. Could it be that we don't see footage of Irene walking around because we don't have all the footage? Like, where was the rest of the footage? It could be a lot of that footage that has been left out. It was footage left out on purpose. Yeah, but she claims she didn't know. Well, that's lining up with the dude's story because the dudes was like they whole position over everybody in the I don't know who the enlightened one is, but it's looking real suspect. But I didn't see her drink or eat nothing that whole night. Blah blah blah. But you know what I find odd though, y'all. The people also was saying, with this whole situation, they were like, they felt like Kanika was off with some dudes or something. Like they felt like they didn't really take it serious. The dudes were saying that they didn't really look for her at first. The two friends, y'all should know who I am by my responses. Y'all, who do y'all think this enlightened person is? Cause they about to get. Who said their middle name was Kanika? Enlightened one, you getting Air Max up out of here. You Air Max up out of here. It's a couple of people. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right person. We don't have time for this foolishness. Right. Don't nobody got time for all that. Who got time for that? Y'all laughing, working, you laughing at me. It's right. It's too late for all this drama and all the rest of this. I don't have the time. Nobody got time for that right now. Talking about guess who I am. We don't care who you are. If you ain't trying to show your face, you shifty. Right, and then Monifa to me looking kind of shifty because if she was saying at the beginning of the party she was ready to go, and then you saying enjoy yourself and all the rest of that, like. But then again, she was the ride, so you know when your ride ready to go, you know you gotta go because your ride is ready to go. We don't deal with the mentally ill over here. Trolls got to go. They got to go. Thank you. You know, I like her. I like her rap music too. Cash Doll. She real. Right. Didn't she say in that interview that she stumbled and she had hit a light or something? Yeah. I think she did say in that interview, she was saying, oh, yeah, you know, she stumbled and then eventually she passed, like she fell asleep next to my sister or something. Right, but if she was drunk, why you lifted her off the bed and out the room? Wouldn't you be trying to get your friend some water or something to sober her up before it was time to leave and show back up at her house? Didn't Irene make a 911 call and Monifa carried? Yeah, Monifa the one who got her out the room, and her and I think the girl Shamaya was leaving. The only thing about Irene's story that got me is she said everyone in the room was cool. Right, and allegedly they didn't know that girl. What's her name? Tanasia. They were saying that they didn't know her. And if Kanika was to the point where she was asleep, was she able to stand up in the hallway? Like, how you just left her in the hallway? Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. It just, the whole situation seemed a little shifty to me, y'all. How that dude say they were in a regular room, not a suite, but it was a bathroom on the left and the right. They knew she was like... But you know what the friends were saying? The two dudes was also saying that Kanika was not a person that was easily moved. Like she would fight you. Was what they really was trying to say. So whoever it is, she had to be, you know, off her game because how the person got her. If Monifa and Shamaya left her in the hallway, how did the person move her that quick? Without nobody coming to the door or hearing nothing. There was two of them with her. They could have both carried her or got one of the guy friends on one way to her. You know what? Or one of them could have went in and got the items and one of them could have waited in the hallway. It's just not making sense. Why did the two of you need to go into the hallway? I mean, back into the room to get the items, like the phone and the keys. Like, it took two people to get phones and keys. But if that's the case, y'all, how in the world was Monifa saying that Kanika was missing? Because where did you go? If you outside with your friend and y'all standing there, y'all just left, where did you go? Right, and that was interesting too because Kanika allegedly, they were saying that particular night that they like, I think what's her name? There's so many names in this. Irene said she was high off ecstasy, and she was saying that they all used to pop pills, but Kanika didn't like to pop pills because she didn't like the feeling. So because of that, she stopped doing it. So that particular night, I don't think she was popping pills. I don't never tell the dead rest in peace because I don't talk to the dead. Police report said the security guard said he saw 3 girls in the hallway. Right, who was the third girl? Was it Irene? Yep, way too many games and names in the story. Or Shamaya. I'm not looking at it from all these theories and crazy stuff that people got out that ain't making no sense. We look at it from a legality perspective. Like, clearly something is up. Clearly. You said it makes no sense. Well, the story in this case, when you start looking at the stuff now, it's starting to make sense because you have more truth that's out. You have more truth that's out now. We know that it was more than one security officer. We know that three different hey Siobhan. We know there was three different sperms found in the girl. Come on now. We know that when the friends said legit that when they was looking for her in the hallway, when they eventually went to go all look for her, there was no security officers and people to be found. So they was real helpful to tell them to take them the smoke detectors down and put towels underneath the door, but they was not helpful when it was time to find their friend who was missing. Derek, I've been hearing people say that too. I haven't seen no clips of him saying that, but I've heard of that. Oh, I know. I was just saying. The whole situation is suspect, but I understand why it's so suspect. A hotel is not. A hotel is not trying to close their doors and get their whole hotel shut down for negligence. So you helpful in the fact of, okay, we done rented these 2 rooms out, put them smoke detectors, take them down and stuff the things under the door and cut the noise down. But you wasn't helpful in the aspect of you should have called the police because it was drug paraphernalia and all the rest of that. And you didn't want to help look for the girl that was missing in the hotel. So that's shifty. All because, you don't want your establishment to close down. It really makes perfect sense and it's very clear when you look at it. You said your phone crashed after you repeatedly called Rosemont. They probably did that. I don't know if she been to that hotel or not. I'm just saying that my perspective is, to me, it seemed like them security officers had a little bit more to do. Some of them friends know what's up, and to me, the Irene story is matching up with the police report. It's not confusing at all when you just look, if you take out all of the crazy YouTubers and the rest of that. Why would a hotel want to lie about a death and a girl being found in the freezer? Easy. I don't want to close my hotel down. You said we black and we don't play like that. But Irene said when they said the best friends back to the 3rd grade. Well, if y'all think about it, like I'm thinking about it like this. If your friend is the ride, right? Of course you ain't gonna want the friend to leave because y'all just got to the party, you want to turn up. So the friend that's the ride ready to go, then you gotta go with your ride if you ain't drive there yourself. Seattle, I'm saying the same thing. It's clear. It was all good with them underage drinking. You telling them take the smoke detectors down, put them towels under the door, and all of a sudden, when it's time for them to look for their friend, it ain't no security officers or help personnel to help them find the friend. You know people cheap. They ain't gonna. You know people are cheap. You know people want to do them Uber pool rides and all the rest of that. Right, and Fatima, you surely ain't gonna be letting the person that's driving drink. People stay trying to get them pool rides so they can only pay $5. Ladybug, I'm not sure, but if that's the case, that's suspect too. That is highly suspect. Yep, security guard too. People are saying is a cop, and if he's a cop, because we don't know for sure, but if he's a cop, that is another reason why I could see a cover up going on. Because then you would have one of your trained officials responsible for negligence. Like you one of your trained officers allowed underage drinking, didn't call the police. You know you was weed smell like if you a cop. Come on. Who knows? They could have paid that girl not to say nothing. Who knows? You type it. Is the chat going fast? Yeah, we don't know if he was a security guard or a cop. Like it gotta be get looked into. But definitely, if he was a cop, Hazy, I'm never ever making a panel. I don't want to resemble Chosen Clown at all. I don't want that type of thing. I am gonna revamp my channel after the new year, and it's gonna be some changes, and I may have it to where people can call in and share their opinion like that. But I don't do the power panels and all that crazy stuff over here. That's not. I don't want to be in no way, shape, or form anything like that. Just went. But if that's the case, then why would the hotel cover it up to that extent? They just would have arrested them. Like, we got to look at why would the hotel cover that whole situation up? You said people were trying to say I was obsessing about him. No, I just don't like liars. Wait, Derek, say that again? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can catch it on the chat. When y'all say stuff to me on this screen, on the iPad screen, it disappears. Let me see if I see what he said. All right. So let me see what Derek said real quick. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. So Derek, you said if I have my partner keys, that's gonna make him stay longer than he wants because I have the keys. You can't just up and leave if I have your keys. The person could just ask you for the keys, but if they drunk, how they gonna know to ask for the keys? They drunk and they like, let me just lay right here and chill. Yup, they were saying that Bree had left and eventually came back. But why did all these people have the stuff? Like, I don't understand. Like, it looks sketchy because it's like, all these people have your phone and your stuff. That looks sketchy. Siobhan, yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, like after this, y'all already know. Like it's set like butter. Like it's smooth like butter to the truth. Cover up because they ain't want to be criminally liable. And of course you gonna edit you gonna edit tapes if your security officer has something to do with it. It was a camera right by them freezers that is no longer allegedly there or operable, where they could have seen exactly who was in Thank you. And they could have seen exactly who went in. Come on, who would have access to a secured area, such as the basement and all the rest of that crazy stuff? Who would have that? It's that simple. Who would have access to an area like that? Who? Regular people, they ain't about to be like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and stumble to this freezer down in the basement. Come on. It's like, I mean, come on. Of course they gonna chop and screw the video because they don't want the security and the people on video. Irene looked like she was shook in that video. Her outfit, she had a hat on. Like, the whole thing just said she could have been a little scared because she did say she was receiving death threats. Derek, the whole interview that made my mind up that security has something to go on with that. Like, come on, why would they just leave the country like that? Why would the hotel go through great lengths to chop and screw videos that was put out? Yeah, she was real. She was looking to the side. She was real. Like, her arms and her hands was in a defense mechanism. Trying to tell y'all, this is crazy. Like, I think inside job. The hotel ain't want to take responsibility. That's millions of dollars that people got to pay out. Come on, who know where the fuse box is in the basement and all the rest of that stuff in that kitchen? Who would know the where people is gonna be at, where they not gonna be at that time of night? Come on. She wants justice. Cause she could have been scared. She ain't know. Like, if they was covering up, you never know what them people could have told them kids. Right. Monifa got caught lying, so we don't know about Monifa, but her story ain't adding up with that police report. Like, and I even feel what Dr. Ali was saying as far as, like, okay, even if they was on Backpage and all the rest of this irrelevant stuff, does that constitute or justify a person being found dead in the freezer? No. So, who walks up on a scene? They didn't walk up on that scene and say that was normal. They walked up on that scene and was like, we got a problem. The hotel manager could have been like, we had a problem. I'm not sure if that's what he said, but anybody, if you have a situation like that happens on your property, if you have a home, okay, let's say you have a house, right? Don't you gotta have, if in an apartment, you have to have homeowners insurance, renters insurance. So you definitely trying to make sure if somebody's staying with you, nothing negative happens, so that you ain't coming out of pocket for no slips and falls and all the rest of this crazy stuff. Right, Derek. All the rest of that little stuff, people that do that, they just want to slander. It has nothing to do with the situation. Them boys. Are we talking about the Siobhan? Are we talking about the two boys that were interviewed? Because they seemed like they just was cut and dry. They were straightforward. We don't know. She could have been victimized by somebody if it was 3 sperm specimens found. But I believe Irene was scared from looking at her in that video. And then Irene ain't never say how she got that black eye either.
Eat it. You ain't even taste it. Did you taste sour cream before? When?
Right. If you look at they conviction rate on murders in Illinois, Okay, so you said the two boys. The two boys, they look like they were straightforward. They straight up said
When you go to Taco Bell,
stuff that was similar to what the police report was
there ain't
saying.
no letters
They
on
like
Taco.
it's Chicago. We thought she could have dipped off with a guy that she wanted to talk to,
I mean,
or they didn't think that she was really missing until it was the next day.
you don't know what nothing says.
Then the next day, that's when they was talking about they really felt like she was missing, and they was like, okay. Yeah, I don't think them dudes was sketchy. I think they was telling the truth. Irene doesn't come off scared on her own videos. Cause if you a girl that's from the inner city, you may act with that tough girl attitude. That doesn't mean that you're not scared though. You gotta be tough in certain areas. Wow, that's crazy. Hannah, that's crazy what you saying, girl. We don't even know if these people had no connection to the whole situation. Too on her, she was surrounded by her peeps too on her videos, but she already hung out with the facts. I'm starting to believe that too, that it could have been other people that came to the party that was not who they knew. Yeah, these trolls be in full effect. Right. She was getting death threats. She said it. She said they was threatening her son, her mama. They need to shut the hotel down. I feel you, Siobhan. They need to shut the hotel down too. There's a video of Maya being money for running through that parking lot just to clear them. And earlier today, I was talking about it. There is a video about them in the parking lot. Well, Hazy, you probably got death threats from crazy nuts that get up here on YouTube. You probably got people in the city that believe from the slander that be up, thinking that these people doing stuff. It's all leading back to slander. Because it's people with their opinion. If you imply something, people, they run with that like wildfire and they take off. So if you got people slandering and they've been saying this whole time, oh, Irene had something to do with it, Monifa had something to do with it. Okay, so in a room for people around the block said around the way they led them to believe she was in there with their enemies. It's so if you got people slandering, you got people believing these lies, and then they catch these people and they thinking that these people is really like this, or they really was moving like this in the street. Like if you say, "Oh, she was responsible for the friend death," and then people catch her in the street, come on, like that's crazy. Well, it was implied that she didn't really want that interview to come out. Like she told Zach she didn't want to put that interview out. And that could have been earlier on that she did that interview. Because I think they said it was from September. And I still believe that it could be some social experiment type of stuff, just not in the way people think it is. Like, I believe this girl exists. I believe that she died for real. I just believe that, now it's like different information. The way the social experiment is, the way they're putting out the information that's emotionally affecting people could be the social experiment. Yep. People believe anything. You put it out there, they run with it. So it's like, I feel like they're taking advantage of that in that aspect. Wow. Well, I definitely hear that it's a lot of corruption in Chicago. That's everybody I know from Chicago say that Chicago is corrupt. I don't know if the girl was involved. I don't know if it was not involved, but I know only time is going to tell. God is going to reveal the truth. Siobhan, I agree with you to a certain extent. We don't know what her role is to really say if she was a victim or if she wasn't a victim. All I know is this is crazy, y'all. Like it's Chirac is just corrupt. Chicago is corrupt. They murder conviction rate. If you go and Google that, y'all would be in shock. I just feel like it's more than just the gang stuff. Like, does anybody else feel like that? That it's more than the gang stuff? I feel like it's spiritual implications as far as like the higher up people. But then it's also to me like if it was just these people, man, they would have put these people in the jail. They want black bodies in jail. They want black bodies in jail. Yep, and that's exactly what I think. That's exactly what I think. You said, has there been a legitimate motive for the legitimate motive that I've been saying, and that the truth that has came out is that, come on, if you look at the facts in the case, dead girl found in a freezer of a hotel. That's all you need to know right there. That's all you need to know right there. The hotel don't want to be held liable. And it could, right, Seattle, Washington, it could have been some undercover stuff with that too. She could have been a victim of opportunity for that. So it's like you never know, man. You never know. I'm just looking at it cut and dry. Who got the most to lose in this situation? If it was just some black kids, come on, they waiting to put black kids in jail. Nah, ain't no accident cover up. It was definitely a murder, but it's a cover up. Renee, you confused? Okay, so Renee, let's set it up. Right? We gonna walk through it. Girl is found dead in a hotel freezer. How is that going to look for my hotel, my business? Okay? Girl is found dead in the thing. Is it gonna look better if I say that she walked into the freezer? Or is it gonna look better that she was murdered and just dumped in the freezer? Is my hotel going to be closed down if I say she accidentally was so drunk that she walked into the freezer? Or is it going to look good if she was murdered and put in the freezer? Especially if on a particular night, my hotel let underage kids rent a hotel room, drink, smoke, and have marijuana, and I knew about it. My hotel staff knew about it. My security guards, that could even potentially be officers of the law, knew about this, but they didn't shut it down, right? They didn't shut it down at all. what would be my motive for covering that up? That is my motive for covering up. I don't want my hotel to be held liable for any of that. If it was just the black kids, you could have just made a headline: Black kids kill friend, dump her in the freezer of the hotel at the Crown Plaza. Less drama if you rule it accidental. Homie, that's the satanic spiritual implications of the case. It's all about, first of all, like, I mean, you could look at this so many ways. It's definitely some spiritual stuff going on with all that ninth floor and 9/11 and all them nines that was found. Come on now, ninth floor, room 926, 666. That's the spiritual side of it. Then you got all the negligence that was done by the hotel. So of course I'm gonna try to sweep that under the rug so that I'm not looking crazy. But then the spiritual side of it, I'm gonna put out information to mislead the public so that the public is stuck on information while I do other evil things. The truth been in our face the whole time. It's just that people been putting out all this slander and lies that it keep you distracted from what the truth is. The negligence of the hotel and the spiritual warfare of what is going on. Y'all know who the real gangs are. They ain't have no reenactment of that freeze the scene. And they probably ain't want to really chance it. Right, Hannah, that's all this is about. The spiritual side is, we gonna use this as a distraction to keep folks distracted while we do stuff. And the legal side is they responsible because of the negligence. They've been responsible since day one. It's just that people, they had all these crazy theories so they could big up their own name on YouTube and come up. That's all they wanted to do. Come on, you got people saying that the mother killed her daughter and brought her daughter to the Crown Plaza, like all this crazy stuff, and it's been in our face the whole time. Who didn't call the cops when they smelled weed smoke and was telling the people to do all kind of illegal stuff? Come on. And if you got people beefing over slander, they feeding off that negative energy. Like, negative energy feeds people. Satanic people. I believe that girl, come on, you got to think about that too, even when you're looking at the organs. Why didn't they call the cops when you had all them young youth in the hotel room? Why wouldn't they call the cops? So they could set a situation like that up. If you look at that video with Dr. Umar and Shahrazad Ali, they talk about it. And what's his name? Dick Gregory. They set that up so you could be a victim of opportunity. Right. The theories was distractions for folks. For you to not look at the negligence and the spiritual implications of all this. That's all it is. You could see so clear when you get your mind focused, number one, on God and get rid of these shiesty people that's coming up with all this slander and these lies and stuff. It's so many questions and they all lead back to negligence, y'all. All of it. They didn't want answers. They wanted to just move on with it. They wanted to cover it up. That's it. They didn't even think that this probably was going to get this big, but since it got this big, they want to feed off that energy because people are getting anxiety from this. People, especially black people, they knew that they wanted a win. They knew y'all wanted a civil rights win. They knew black people wanted a win. And racism is the biggest way you could, the biggest social experiment that you can use to mess with people psychologically. I don't know, Mr. Dezam. She could have been a victim of opportunity. They could have been doing that in that hotel. Because it was more than just her found dead at that hotel, they saying. It didn't have to be because they set it up for her to do that. They could have just caught her slipping and the friends, left her in the hallway. Boom. Victim of opportunity. Y'all know who they targeting. Y'all know who they targeting. They've been doing it since slavery. If she do get a thing, then justice was served. But justice is going to be served regardless because God ain't letting nobody slip. God is not letting nobody slip. Please believe. Yep, it's angels and demons out there for real. That's a true statement. I'm glad it woke you up to a different reality. Right. So that's why Seattle, that's what I've been saying for the past couple of days. We need to come together because the Lord do not wish us to be divided. He doesn't wish that there be any division and all that racism. And if it was a white girl, if it was a black girl, listen, they killing a lot of people. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just racism is the social experiment, and they know that it causes chronic illnesses, sickness, psychological, emotional disorders, all kind of stuff. So, of course, I'm going to keep breaking you down because you the experiment. Yeah, I believe that girl was a victim of opportunity, honey. Like, she was just like any other young girl or young person at a party. She got drunk, and they caught her slipping. And come on, what would if it was the kids? Why would the hotel need to get rid of videotape and all the rest of that stuff that was missing? You clearly seen that it was the tapes were tampered with, and all the rest of that. What do you think of the hotel being booked with a stolen credit card tonight? Right. Did you see how many so let's look at all the things they liable for. They didn't use proper security measures when taking a credit card from somebody. Number one, because the hotel room was booked with a stolen credit card. And what I have to ask myself is, was it a forced authorization with these credit cards? Because sometimes credit cards don't go through. So did they force an authorization on these credit cards? What was the procedure for the credit cards? Because I heard that the credit cards didn't go through the first time or something like that. Was it a forced authorization? Sonya, I've been saying it, girl. People, they sleep on the word, but the word is you activating God's word and the authority that he gave you. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. How they even got the room with a stolen credit card? That means they didn't check authorizations. Number two, if you knew, first of all, there's fire protocol. You cannot have a certain amount of people in one hotel room, let alone in a building. So if there's fire codes and fire marshal laws and all the rest of that stuff, when you go to restaurants, surely that was way too many people for a 2-bed room in a hotel. So you still didn't call the cops on that. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts? I done gave. What are y'all thoughts? You're right. So you got the fire marshal laws they didn't look at. The credit card was stolen. They didn't go through proper procedures for that. Then you got they telling you, number one, that's another fire marshal type of situation because your smoke alarm is not supposed to be taken down out no hotel. Number one. Number two, if you seen it was way too many people in that 2-bed hotel room suite, and they had to use 4 cards before the credit card went through, that's no. You did a forced authorization on that. Crooked hotel all the way. If he had to manually punch them numbers in, that was a forced authorization. So it was like they was negligent on all parts. The front desk slipping because they taking stolen credit cards. They telling them take down the smoke detector. And you never supposed to be that thirsty for money that you put your business in jeopardy for a lawsuit. And that's why she could have been a burden to them. They wanted to party and she was drunk at that time. So it was kind of like babysitting. Like you like a grown person drinking. Yep, they didn't report any of that. Come on. The fire marshal, when you go to restaurants, tell you how many people could be in the building at one time. So all them people in that one hotel room was off. They telling the people, put the towels under the door so the smoke ain't disturbing the other guests. Now, what if a fire would have popped off from them smoking in the room? The smoke detectors is down, and it's so many people. How would they all have gotten out that little room at one time? That's why, y'all, I just ask that y'all tell y'all kids, don't think that your friends is your friends and people don't have your back. You have to have your own back. If they didn't care, they should have to pay because they didn't care. You talking about keeping it down, you should have put some of them people out. It's a 2-bed hotel room, sir. That's the fire marshal will eat that up. They showing up. Just straight up. Compensation for neglect. Straight up. Pay that lady. I definitely think that the young man that's connected that was found in the Crown Plaza, that's why I said this is like spiritual. Jordan Bilbo, I feel like he was chosen for his surname because of the circumstances of his death. Like, come on. Your last name means doomsday in an 11th century book. Mm-mm. And then you found in the Crown Plaza, like a couple of months after another young lady was found in a Crown Plaza dead. Y'all, Toliver somewhere talking about he ain't nowhere around you. We don't know where Toliver is at. They give. Right. I feel like that too. Like a lot of times you get yourself wasted. Your friends don't feel like babysitting you the whole time. They feel like partying and just doing them. They don't want to watch you. Oh, trust me, Corin. I know for a fact. That's why I brought up the fire marshal and all the rest of that stuff. Like it's so much things are responsible for. It's not even funny. Like you got people talking about let the baby rest in peace and all the rest of this stuff. She is resting in peace. The dead is unconscious in the grave. But we still gonna need to know what's up for the people that's still living. Like we need to know because this could be our friends, families, or whatever, like or people that are loved ones and stuff like that. We need to know so that we can avoid there being more Kanikas. We don't need no more Kanikas like coming up at hotels. She was wrong for suing, but something ain't right. I don't know what's up with the lady. I'm just saying, like, the real enemy is the negligence of this hotel. We dealing with children that are dealing with demons and generational curses. So all they concerned, she said it in the video, they the get lit crew. You know, kids, they more concerned with their iPhone and partying and looking a certain way. Like she was really, cramping or bringing down the scene. You that drunk and you can't figure out what's going on. They like shoot, like we trying to party. Skinny fat G, go watch Dr. Ali. I think he does a beautiful explanation of why they haven't done anything. Thank you, Malik. How you say it? Malayshi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you. If you look at the cases, this particular attorney that's representing her on Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, that should let you know something right there. Right. Within a few months apart from each other. That's a little suspect in itself. Thank, thank y'all. I try. It's been going on, but because I feel that the dispensation of grace is almost over, so the wool is coming off. The what am I trying to say? I'm so tired. I'm trying. Basically, We pulling God is pulling them curtains back. God is pulling the veil back. That's what I'm trying to say right now. I'm just so exhausted, y'all. Yep, the veil has been lifted so that you able to see all this stuff. They probably been doing this for centuries, y'all. He trying to get you to see that it's time to seek him, because all of this partying and all of this the lascivious lifestyles and stuff like that, it's time to put a stop to it, because um it's gonna be a time where you really gonna see some crazy stuff for real. Cause an accident sound better than a murder. That's all it is, y'all. If you can't understand that, it's because an accident sounds better than a murder. Especially if they're trying to do big business in Chicago, that doesn't look good. The young people, the youth is the result of the generations before that. The generations before that have not broken certain generational curses. So here we have the youth that think it's okay to be in hotels, and they think that's the normal for them. You heard the two young men that was interviewed. That was their norm. That was the norm for them. So because that's the norm for them, you said you done. God bless you too, Andrea or Andrea. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That was their norm. Right. Sonya, once people can understand that, they'll see it. That's really what the truth is. It's some satanic stuff at work, and the ultimate truth is an accident sound way better than a murder to these people. Homie, that hotel would have got shut down. If all them violations was to come out, that they didn't follow proper protocol, they hotel would have had to get shut down. Well, if you look at the interview, they said they walked her out, and they the ones that came back in to get the stuff. The hotel, honey, still doing business. Right. So you think they want to lose any type of money? Come on now. And ain't that hotel next to a major airport? I don't know about all of that. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing that. I know it's plausible. Yo, this is crazy. Like, I have like so much clarity after like all the pieces. Y'all, I'm getting ready to go to bed myself. I just wanted to come on here and share my thoughts with y'all, and then get y'all's perspective on this whole situation. Right. That's a major airport. You think they want that hotel to be shut down, honey? No way. Good night, everyone. I'm about to go to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna check out. You said Miss Pretty Productions. All right, Eliza. Good night. All right, y'all have a good one. God bless.